Hey guys, today I am going to talk about how much do patent attorneys make. They make $250,000 right now, and how I know this was I passed the patent bar exam when I was 21. So before I went to William Mary Law School, I actually was a patent agent, and I had experience at the largest Chinese patent agency, over 100 lawyers at the time. And I had experience in something called PCTs, which is a very unique selling point that a lot of companies want to get into, but it's really hard to find this individual because again they would have to pass their patent bar exam, they would have to have a science major or a math major of some type, they would then need to speak Mandarin, they would need to be able to translate Mandarin, they would need to be able to understand mechanics and engineering. And I mean, this person I was when I was 21 to pass my patent bar exam was very, very high demand, right? Like it almost is a unicorn. So I went to William Mary Law School. My second year, my sophomore year, or my 2L year, I became the president of the IP club at William Mary Law School. So anyone interested in law school at patents, and we even had some undergrads who were interested and become a patent lawyer. But again, what I did was very unique. Before I went to law school, I already had experience as a patent agent. So that was kind of unique, and that made me a very attractive candidate for summer internships and jobs, placement, and whatever, right? Because I had experience already writing patent applications. So the difference between a patent attorney and a patent agent in terms of functionality is an agent can write an application. A patent attorney can defend the application, but that's very rare, if you understand what I'm saying. So I'm saying that the majority of what a patent attorney does is very similar to what a patent agent does, which is they write the application. Now, of course, a patent attorney, if you write the application and there's problems down the road, it's contested by XYZ, then it makes sense because the person who wrote the application can now defend it. Now, if you're just a patent agent and your application is now in trouble, well, then you have to hire a second person, a patent attorney, to defend it against whoever is contesting. And you'd be surprised, like just people out of the woodworks. It's like, whoa, who's this? Of course, you do your due diligence and you do your prior art, and you make sure that it's you don't want to be contested, right? Ideally. So you do your patent in such a way that you don't believe it will be contested. But if it's a patent worth any amount of money, it should be contested. That's just how the patent system works. So how much do patent attorneys make now that... Oh, back to my story about when I was 2L, I was head of the patent attorney or the IP club. And so I had friends in that club, and my dad is a patent attorney. At the time, I had a lot of friends who were patent agents, patent attorneys, and I know how much money they make. They make about $250,000, $250,000 a year base with bonus. So I know exactly how much they make because I've asked them anonymously before the recording of this video, hey, can you just tell me, on the average, and it ranges anywhere between 180 to 310. But the majority of them make about $250,000. And that's how I have this data that would be harder to get. This is real data. Now, it is data that is specific to my life and my friends. But at one time, I had probably 25 friends who were patent attorneys or patent agents at the very least. And that hasn't really changed. We've still been pretty close because we're just nerds, right? So it's very likely that if you're a nerdy person and you like meticulous, so if you've ever written a patent application before, you know that it is a very nerdy thing to geek out on, or the figure drawings or all this stuff. If you've ever done a patent application, provisional or non-provisional, you know that it's almost like, the way I put it, the way that the art is made, it's almost like put together a Gudon figure, but instead of putting together the Gudon figure, which is, a figure of pieces, Gunpla. I call it Gudon, but it's called Gunpla. but you're the one making the instructions to put the figure together, because you're the one explaining the invention to put the invention together. So someone without like any basic knowledge or just knowledge in that field, without specific knowledge, you should be able to teach them why your invention is good, and most importantly, how the invention fits together. So we're talking about very, very nerdy type of things where every claim, every period, every comma is a do or die situation for your applicant. Because there's been times where a comma has made all the difference in a patent application. Like, I'm not kidding you. That's like one of the first things you learn is, hey, it's very easy to make a mistake on the claims, pretty easy to make a mistake in the drawings, and if you do make a mistake and let's say you get approved 5 years later, people are going to still contest it. The more valuable the patent, the more eyes will be on it looking for that comma or that period, or hey, can we attack this? Because they're not looking at the patent, oh, what a great invention, congrats. They're looking at the patent, how can we tear this to pieces? And it's not just one or two people. I had patents that I worked on. I'm not going to disclose to you, but there were so many eyes on that one patent. It's like, wow, this is 25 law firms hired by 25 individuals and companies want this patent to go away. Now, we can argue the philosophy about patents, whether or not they should be legal, non-legal, but anyway, it's the system, right? If the system is in place, I don't really question the system too much for patents, because there's got to be a reason we do things this way. Now, if for instance your patent, even if you get a patent. So a lot of companies on Shark Tank and things, they use this very annoying phrase. I hate this phrase, patent pending. I could patent water. So I submit my application to the USPTO, and before I get rejected, and I know I'm going to get rejected for patenting H2O, right? Because that's ridiculous. But I can say patent pending on water, because I haven't been final rejected, right? I haven't received a final rejection yet. And that's what a lot of companies do. They say they're patent pending. That means nothing. Anyone can file a patent for anything. It doesn't mean you're going to get it. So that's my biggest pet peeve, when I go on these, inventors and entrepreneurs. So I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a business owner, and I just drives me crazy as a patent attorney to know like people use patent pending as if it was like some huge deal, right? No, any idiot can patent pen anything. Right? It doesn't matter. Patent pending only means you haven't been rejected finally. But actually, a lot of companies were rejected and they still use patent pending because they haven't received the final rejection. So back to patent attorneys as a job. Oh, it's fantastic. I do miss it. I own a digital marketing agency. I will say that I make as much as a patent attorney, if not more. So I'll just leave it at that. But there are things in patents. It's very nerdy. It's very geeky. It's really like, I don't know how else to say it. It's very analytical. If you like, the reason I love Google Analytics, the reason I like PPC and SEO, it's very, very tedious, very, very meticulous. It's very, you're going to read your application. Depending on the application, if I'm expecting, a lot of people to contest it, you have to read the application 5, 10, 15, 20 times. And that's just you. And your secretary reads it, then another senior attorney reads it. Like, there are applications for some crazy products out there that are just mind-blowing. Like one application that I worked on as a PCT, I can talk about this because that means if I'm working on it as a PCT, that means it's already got the patent in the US country, right? They're just trying to get a patent in China right now. Was the dental. So the dental filling that is used by every dentist essentially that I've ever gone to, where you shine UV light and it hardens. So the cavity filling, the filling, that was a patent that crossed my hands. I was like, whoa, holy fuck, this is a I don't know if it's $1 billion patent, but this is like a hugely valuable thing. So guess who is going to attack it? Everybody from everywhere is going to go after you. Dozens of law firms are going to try to tear down this patent because they want their own patent or they just want to, I don't know, use the invention for free. So being a patent attorney is a really fantastic job. 100% job security. So if I had to rank it from 0 to 100, job security is probably 100% or like 90. Like if you're really good at what you do, there's always people wanting to be inventors. It's like entrepreneurs, right? There's always entrepreneurs. You're never going to run out of inventors. And the inventors are happy with patent pending. I don't know on most cases that they actually expect to get the patent. Sometimes I feel like they don't, because they will hire these like very shady patent attorneys that are just like low quality, very low caliber quality. And it's like, are you just doing this to get the patent pending so you can pitch to investors and then put more money in? I don't know. I did an internship at probably one of the worst patent law firms in Houston, and I was so shocked, like their practices. I was like, wow, this is like pretty bad, especially coming from a very, from a Chinese law firm, right? Where everything is structured, everything is, meticulous. You have big monitors with big things. You have people to help you. They gave me this tiny little laptop that was like this big. It was maybe a Chromebook that was 9 inches or 10 inches. It was like the smallest, or it was a mini Chromebook. And they expected me to write a patent application from that. I was like, that's not possible. Like, don't you have some monitors, or why is the office so cheap? Like, this is not the way to do a patent. Like, you need resources, right? And they also, they made a plaque of not every patent, but every single page. So I'm like, whoa, this plaque right here of 60 pages costs more money than the patent is worth for you to plaque out every page. I was like in awe and amazed. I think a lot of people do patents and they're not very good at it. But it's okay. You can make a ton of money being bad at it, just giving the patent pending. And then the patent will fail, but hey, you're an entrepreneur's got investment money anyway. So who cares? Like, it was supposed to fail anyway. But like, when I do something, I want to do it well. I cannot imagine doing something poorly, like a patent. And I cannot imagine doing a patent with the expectation it will fail. That just makes me mad. Hi guys.